Hello everybody, this is a Lighthouse Hall of Fame film from the European server. It's Akao back in his 2801. And if it seems like we're in a rut on maps, yeah, you're right. We've gone steps, Winterberg, and now we're in steps again, this time in counter mode from the south spawn. But I promise you, the next battle that I do will not be steps or Winterberg. I already know what it is. And so that's something to look forward to. We have 2 already on the enemy team and 3 on his. 4 scouts on his, well, 4 lights on his team and 3 scouts on the enemy team. Akao's team has more mediums, just 3 heavies. The enemy team has a bunch of heavies and only 1 medium, so mobility advantage definitely goes in favor of Akao's team. Armor and firepower is in favor of the enemy team. If they power rush the west, it's going to cause problems because Akao's team may not have the ability to slow them down. We'll have to see how this goes, but it's not really a good matchup for him. Him personally, it's a good matchup. He has a lot of tanks he can dominate, but one of the best ways to defeat a good player is simply to kill everybody else and put the good player in a position where he just doesn't have the ability to fight off everybody on the enemy team that's left. He gets a lot of spots early on. Oh, and the ELC reverses direction at the perfect time or he would have been dead. And sometimes you're getting ready to fire, and as you're pressing your finger down on the button, you see him reverse direction, and it's just too late to adjust your shot. You're already too close to pressing it, and off the shot goes. And as you fire it, you know it's going to miss, but you just can't get yourself to stop squeezing. This is actually set up pretty well. They have the majority of their tanks to the west with a couple tanks east to monitor the cap area. But again, it's going to be heavies and TDs versus mediums over there. And it's going to take some skill to pull out a victory. And I'm not certain the team has enough skill to do it. Witness witness that dude just going right down the center of the map in the open and blowing up. Not a good thing to watch. That's not how you play any tank. Doesn't matter whether you're a light or a medium or a TD or a heavy. It's like, don't do that. That's just a great way to die. They're down 3 tanks. KO's like, screw this crap, man, I'm out of here. My team's falling apart right to the side of me, and I can't afford to stay there any longer because I'm going to die. I'm going to get overrun. Let me move over here and see what I can see and maybe find a couple easy kills and try to get us back into this thing. That's just a matter of paying attention to the map and understanding that what the map's telling me right now is if I stay here, I'm going to get overrun. So it's time to leave before that happens. Really doesn't matter that somebody's capping. It actually helps for somebody to cap right now because if they're capping, they're not fighting. And that helps even out the odds. So let him cap, let him enjoy sitting there thinking he's going to win the fight. And go pick on somebody else for a little bit. Just don't lose track of the cap counter and actually end up letting them complete cap. The looks and the medium are over there. They reset him, and now there's going to be a little fight over at the cap circle. AMX was trying to get there in time to help his team, and he didn't do it, so he's going to be more timid now. And Akao's counting on the fact that he'll be able to come up here and dive down to the right and come in right behind him and get an easy kill on this thing. Such as he just did. And now they're back down to a 4-tank lead. While he came over here, the western flank completely collapsed, and it's totally gone. The looks is saying go cap, which is, oh come on guys. Can't even comment on it. It just gets frustrating to see people make the same mistakes over and over and over. So they're going to sit there and try to cap and let Akao come out here and try to beat everybody else on the enemy team by himself. This is just brilliant play on their part. They're almost... Akao probably swearing to himself right now, or swearing at them, because it's like, dude, I need help to do this. You can't sit there and completely take yourself out of the fight. It's like, come out here and help me catch up. And they're sitting there thinking, hey, you know, we can cap faster than they can get here. It's like, no, it's encounter. You can't. You really can't. There's already the enemy roach sitting there going to reset you, and he's going to keep giving his team enough time to get there and help him out. So it's not going to work. Ready to fire? Fire. Dead already. Hey, and it's still a 4-tank fight. He finally gets it down to 3. At least he's making some progress. The looks finally forced off cap, which was just a horrible idea from the beginning because it had 0 chance of working. We just talked about this last battle. This is a slightly different situation though, because they're simply behind, but there's 2 things working against them. Number 1, they're way behind. You need to be in the fight helping try to catch up. Number 2, it's encounter. Takes forever to cap. Another situation where capping is a horrible idea. Now the enemy team, go for it. Get on cap and force them to come to you, because your allies are going to be able, hopefully, to kill whatever comes at you. And now it's a good idea because they don't really care if they kill the rest of the tanks. They don't care if Akao dies. I'm sure some of them want Akao to die right now because he's been a thorn in their sides. But, hey, here I am. I have friends with me. I dare you to come reset. The key here being 2 tanks are on cap, but there's 6 tanks left. That means there's 4 other tanks out there that are going to try to get Akao when he comes in to reset. So this isn't capping to win, it's really capping to bait. There's a big difference. And if they manage to get a cap win, then just, hey, that's an extra bonus. And Akao's like, okay, you want to park a heavy on cap circle? And let's match view range and see who wins this fight. And now you're thinking, please don't fire just a couple more seconds. He fires blind and misses him, and Akao gets the kill. But cap continues to count down. It's down to 20 seconds, and he has to move in and reset. And probably all those allied tanks for the enemy team are getting closer and closer to cap circle to help defend it. And there's really nothing you can do. There's so little time left. You have to come in. Gets the reset at the last second. So he's trying. He's going to get this guy too, I'm pretty certain. After that, all bets are off though. So right now he's just reached the point where he's thinking this is maybe possible. Maybe I can pull this off. And here comes the KV3, but he's too far away. And whoa, uh-oh. There's the medium. Now it's starting to get intense because he can't beat this guy one-on-one. Unless he gets a big hit and a fire in his butt, it's not going to happen. Just doesn't have the hit points to trade with it. So he has to run away. You also know that other heavy's chugging in on the open. Here comes a heavy the other way, and it's all over. He did everything he could to pull out a win, and it was just beyond his ability to do. I think it was beyond anybody's ability to do. The enemy team collapsed on him really well, and you can oppose this. Think back to his mission in the looks, where at the end of that battle in steps, the enemy was spread out, and he was able to go up to each one of them and get them isolated one-on-one and pick them off one at a time and pull out a good win. Here, they all collapsed on him where they thought he was, and it ends up putting him in a position where there's too many tanks coming from too many different angles, and you just run out of escape options. So the enemy team in this battle did it the way they should do it, and they end up preventing Akao from pulling off another big comeback win. Be that as it may, he still had a great effort. He got 3,092 damage, 7 kills, 18 of 29 shooting for 62% accuracy, 902 spotting damage, and 6 spots. He earned 38,674 credits. One of the great things about this tank is if you don't fire a lot of heat and you have a good battle, you will earn a decent amount of money. It's a good money maker. He got 100 defense points, and it gave him 2,444 XP. He didn't survive the fight, but he got a top gun, a high caliber, and a defender to go along with a fire for effect and bruiser mini medal, and that gives him a total of 2,514 battle score, which puts him in 4th place on the 2801 haul. Just a matter of sometimes you play really good, but if the enemy team plays good, you can't overcome their teamwork, and that's what it came down to here. The enemy played together at the end, and when they do that, it makes comebacks almost impossible. He went up to the middle, got a bunch of spots, and when he was able, he moved to the north, and he was constantly involved in the fight, putting pressure on the enemy, but his team just totally let him down and didn't provide him the support that he needed to be able to help them achieve a victory. Remember these things when you're in similar situations, because we see a lot of comeback victories in the Hall of Fame because that's a good way to get a lot of points. What we don't see is the battles where there's 2 enemy tanks trying to make a comeback against 4 or 5 of you, and you don't get to see the scout working with his teammates to prevent a comeback. So the same thing you saw here with the enemy team working together to prevent Akao from mounting a big comeback is what you have to do when you're in the position of the enemy team. Don't just go off and lone wolf. Maybe you want to go off from a different direction and come in to flank, or come in from a direction where you can set up in a bush and passive spot. But the best way to prevent a comeback is to work together as a team, and do not let them catch you isolated one-on-one to where they can pick you off one at a time and slowly turn it into a fight they can pull out. Work as a team. It stops the comeback, as you just saw. From steps, encounter south, trying to come back, but running out of space. Akao and his VK2801. Happy hunting.